Okay, guys. I just been thinking this is a voice recording because I have a lot on my mind. I'm watching, observing everything around, and I'm being very fair and honest and transparent. This is April the 24th, Friday, 3:16 p.m. I'm on my new phone. But anywho, I have to say this. I feel like, in general, this world is going crazy if you allow. I feel like it needs to be more things addressed when it comes to things in our lives personally. I feel that a lot of people don't talk about what needs to be talked about. A lot of things are talked over. I feel like a lot of health issues because it starts in our mind. A lot of things that we don't talk about, that are silent about, things that happened a long time ago, then we probably don't remember the last time something happened because we're so stuck in trauma or depressed or in both. It's no shame of not able to express yourself, understanding and being aware that we all have gone through trauma. We all are going through trauma, but if we all understand and be aware that we're triggered and we need to get healed. So the thing is, I don't think the world really realizes it's an individual thing that everyone has to do. And if everyone will stop looking at everyone else's life and stop trying to deflect on their own trauma versus going within and healing themselves, then there'll be so much world peace in our own selves if it starts one person at a fucking time. I say fucking so hard with emphasis because I feel like a lot of people don't take life seriously. They just life pass by. A lot of people are functionally off of dysfunction. So you get what I'm saying? I'll say this, dear. Everything's come from my heart. I'm not reading the script. I'm sitting in my mom and dad's room, watching a TV show. And I'm watching and observing people's behaviors. And I'm talking about in real life, people around me, I'm a person, I'm not trying to read people, but I'm reading them correctly. I'm reading them spiritually. Understanding why we all, as people, feel like it's hard to talk about of healing. And no one wants to address to being healed. No one wants to address the hurts that they have deep down that no one knows about. Or maybe people knows and don't acknowledge. It doesn't matter. The hurt is still there. And traumas. And that stuff builds up and it builds up to make us do dysfunctional things. Whether we want to admit it or not, hide it or not accept it, we all do dysfunctional things. Even with the things we eat, things we say, things we think, things that we regurgitate, things that we consume. And by consumption, I mean things we watch on TV, things that we hear in the airwaves, things that we physically do. So sometimes we dumb ourselves down, not focus on the healing. We try to cope with it by internalizing things and definitely ignoring it by drinking, using substance abuse, sexual abuse, any type of thing that distracts us from healing. So I feel that a lot of people are out in this world functioning dysfunctionally. If y'all understand what I'm trying to say, dysfunction is things that in life, everyday life, where it's supposed to be a system, how our body runs as a system. So I think we're all kind of in this type of environment where we have to create our own healthy environments in ourselves in the best we can, because we can't help what's in what we eat a lot of times. We do the best we can. Now, if everybody grew a farm and everybody grew like vegetables and fruit and start, understand our body functions properly, then I understand that. So no one's by default. Everyone is somewhat dysfunctional by default. Because society, the world, is a lot of stuff we don't know of. We're just finding out things in our food, in our medicine, things in our everything around us. All we can do is to do the best we can, what we know and what we got, and research and learn and self-teach and apply. So positive energy does come from just want to be happy. Positive energy comes from how we retrain ourselves and think better and to not just think, but more feel. We have to use our five senses every day. We have more than five senses, but far as we know, we have five senses or that we know of. Just by knowing that, we have to appease those senses, if you understand what I mean. So what we try to do every day, we try to find things that appease all our senses the best we know, because that's going to get our mood, our spirit, everything in gear. But sometimes we don't. We're walking in dysfunction. Sometimes we don't feel like we're tired, exhausted, due to a lot of things, a lot of elements in life. So one thing about it, we have to learn how to see what triggers us. When we get mad, when we get angry, when we even want to have, all feelings, not just some feelings, but even when we get sad, angry, I want to say sex, even, all the feelings, not just one part, happy, all feelings, any type of feeling, any type of moods. Why do we get triggered? So if everyone understands why they're getting triggered and then go back, we can find it, the root cause of why we're triggered in life. And some stuff stem from childhood. But one thing we must do, we have to be aware of what's triggering us and then accept what is triggering us, and then we can also know where to go from there. Also, this is my self-talk, me by my own self, teaching myself how to be self-aware more of how I feel and how I come off and how I talk to people, how I talk to myself first, and now also how I get triggered. So once you learn, understand, and aware how you get triggered, things make more sense. Going forward, I feel like venting is a part of being triggered. People don't realize we vent all the time, and that's a trigger from when we don't realize we could trigger ourselves from when we was 2 years old or 5 years old. A lot of traumas happen all the time, every day, y'all, in all kind of cases, not just childhood, but even today, yesterday, it happens all the time. But we sometimes get so caught up in life where we don't have time to manage and heal. So going forward, I feel like everyone should learn, hopefully everyone, one day at a time, is find a way to heal. And that's one day at a time. And I guarantee our life will be way more free in God. And the way I go, and the best way is to go to God. And God is within. Okay, you could go to the church and all that, you could go anywhere, but you gotta have a relationship with God. And by that, how you have a relationship with God is simple. You talk to God. Talk to God, have a conversation, and talk to him about everything that bothers you. Talk to him like you're venting so you get it out. Then, once you talk to God and really talk to him, not try to sound cute, let God sees it all, knows it all. So don't act like you gotta hide. Be yourself and talk to God. And then by that, you have to listen. You have to listen to God. Because one thing we do in our flesh, we wrestle what God is doing and listen to him. We all do it. And I don't care how much you think you know God, we still do it. Because we get nervous. And our nervous system always off because we are so triggered and traumatized. Throughout our lives, we've been traumatized. That our nervous systems are always on the go, on fight or flight. Especially being a black woman or a black man, especially in America. I'll speak for a majority of us, like black people, definitely. Us as humans, but I'm telling y'all, being black, we are triggered a lot. And that don't make us bad people. We all fight or flight as humans. So that means that we all have to, one day at a time, take time to heal. Take time to reflect, to heal. Take time. You have to go within, cry it out, call out the negativity to get it out of you. One thing about it, dysfunction is something that can be repaired. And by we healing our nervous system, by calling out the negativity, and then also being aware of what it is. Do you know, so you know what the diagnosis is, you can heal the symptoms, you can heal the root cause. So once we have understanding, we could do this, y'all. I'm telling y'all, Our nervous system won't be so nervous or out of whack. We won't start overeating. We won't undereat. We won't let stuff trigger us where we can't function or think, or we don't want to overwork or underwork. We don't want to be dysfunctional, because I think a lot of us operate in dysfunction that it looks functional. Being tired is not normal. Being tired all the time is not normal. I'm sorry. Because we're liable to get tired, but not being tired all day, every day. Being fussy is not normal. Being unsure is not normal. Being unhappy, being unsafe. And I'm talking about within. Being combative, being angry, being, let's say, I'm talking about anything that come to my mind. I'm just saying, being hungry all the time, being like, you know what I'm saying, being always moving and busy, but not productive. So I think it's a lot of busybody and not productive. And I feel like a lot of people don't understand. Look up the meaning busy and look at the meaning productive. And you tell me going forward, what does that mean? And how can we apply this to our own selves? A lot of busyness and not productiveness. I think a lot of people move around, do certain things to appear, or just a dysfunction in us where we moving and not moving forward. So I think a lot of us need to move forward, and everyone needs to move forward when it's time. And we got to work on that in everything. And it shouldn't feel like a task. All working on yourself and healing, it should be not a task. It should be our nature. I should be a very nurturing. I think a lot of us can get healed by, and I'm talking about physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally, if we just reflect and be aware, and then take our time to understand what's going on in our own body. And we sitting there watching everything, but not applying, saying stuff without applying, it's not gonna work. You have to say things to want it to heal. You have to have intentional healing. You can't just say I want to be healed and not apply. You have to intentionally want to be healed and heal, and take your time and understand it's not about timing. It's more about the healing. So everybody worry about when I'm supposed to be. Stop worrying about time. Worry about just don't worry. Stop worrying. First of all, allow. When you allow God, things come natural. Things come. So that's when the first step, we have to have a relationship with God. Second step, we have to listen. And then the third step, and beyond that, we have to apply what God is telling us. And all I'm just saying, we're all work in progress. I hate people say God working on me. God working on everybody. So stop feeling like you're the only person God's working on. I'm a person where I understand, put myself in people's shoes, and realize that person, they're not healed, and I pray for them. I don't go around and talk about people. To me, that's me as a person. Gossiping and talking about people is really the opposite of God. God is about love. God's about the fruits of the Spirit. He's not about this chaos and drama that everybody likes to be entertained by. And the way I observe so I can feel like, what's the state of mind of people? Why are we all in the similarness of how we are? Because if you see somebody doing something, guess what? You probably did before. Or maybe, hopefully, I'm just being honest, it's bound to happen, because no one's addressing the issue. Everybody's skipping, hopping over what needs to be done. And I'm feeling like it's okay to be human and do things. And one thing for sure, I want people to start forgiving ourselves. Forgive yourself. You have to. Because we are all in this life, and not knowing, we are learning. And it's nothing wrong with understanding. And if you might look like a bad person, okay. But as long as you have a relationship with God and you go to God about it, you can't care about how people feel about you. Or try to let people have dominion over you. You're God's child. And if you allow people to have that over you, then you're not doing what God tells you to do. Because that person, sure enough, hiding something. Well, they have something going on. Well, they don't want nobody to know. And they're good at hiding it. But if you're real, realizing people they do certain things, they act like they hide their hand. You don't want to be that person. You want the person who's open and honest with yourself and have a relationship with God, where you can be free. That's the whole purpose. Now, some people out there act like they're so high and mighty, where they don't make no wrongs and they'll make no mistakes, and they're prideful. That's the worst. That's the worst place to be. Or I don't need no help. I don't need nothing. Like, yes, you do. You need God, and God's sending the right people and right things around you. But if you acknowledge that you need God, then that's when life starts to change. That's when life gives you real. That's when you understand life better, and you start becoming within yourself. So you don't internalize things so badly. You don't start to reflect off and deflect. One thing we don't want to do is deflect. If you just see, if let's say that we watch a movie and the movie has a message, what most people do, they look at the movie and they start talking about everybody else. Like, that person, that remind me of that person. Do anyone ever be realistic with themselves and look at a movie and see a message and think about, that could have been me, or that was me, or shit, if I don't get myself together, that's going to be me? No one does that. I'm a person, I do that. I reflect and see. I can see millions of people have that same situation, but I'm saying it's how you look at it. It's how you observe and how you what's the word? Not deflect, but more how you internalize. So one thing about it, I watch things to help me grow. I don't watch things to talk about things so it can maybe deflect off what's going on, because guess what? When you deflect off what's not going on, if you deflect, you're not healing. If you look at everybody else in a situation and not looking at yourself when there's a message, then you're not healing yourself. So the person that needs the most healing is you every day. And if you're a person that sees a situation where somebody's going through something, and you could be a help by saying, hey, or just praying to God about that person, that's what we need in life. We don't need people talking about us. You know what I'm saying? Talking about something they don't know where nothing goes around. So, but sitting around talking about it makes it worse. Adding fuel to fire versus talking to God and, have a, you know what I'm saying? Most people don't talk to God. Most people don't want to talk about what's really going on in themselves. So they deflect and they make gossip and they make things, they just pretty much fantasize about somebody else's life. And that's not weird. That's just not healing. So I'm going to stop saying weird. I'm just call people unhealed. Going forward, there's a lot of unhealed people. And maybe, yes, I probably did say things that I might have been hurt by, but the thing is, I'm human and I don't want to seem like I'm perfect. One thing I don't want to ever fake is fake the funk. I don't have to fake nothing for nobody. And one thing about it, I'm going to always be myself, but I don't want to be coming off like I know everything. But one thing I do know, I know what I've been through and what helps me and what I'm sure it helps everybody else is common sense that I use in my own life situation. So let's all start to use our common sense and go to God and listen. It ain't about being perfect. It's just want to be what God wants you to be. And that could be whatever God wants you to be. So stop sitting there thinking you got to be perfect or appear perfect or appear like I don't care how people look at me. One thing I've then stopped caring is about people and how they think about me. That's not my issue. That's not my problem. And one thing I wanted y'all to know is once we all get to that point, when you become a grown person, I ain't talking about a certain age. You could be young and grown, depending on your maturity. But once you get that, ain't nothing can tear you up. Ain't nothing can make you feel any kind of way that's not from God. If it ain't from God, we shouldn't want it. Well, if it ain't from God, I don't want it. And everybody should feel that way. So everybody get accordingly. I'll probably do this again, but this came out of my heart. This came from my heart. And stop looking at people's lives and thinking you know what's going on. Stop looking at people's lives and deflecting what's really going on internally. Start deflecting, start reflecting into your own life to pray and heal yourself. It's a lot of unhealedness that people can get help if we all just be healing towards ourselves. And the first step is talking to God. That's our first step and have a relationship with him. So also want to say this, because just because something appears, a certain thing does not mean it's not what it is. So one thing about God, he's going to give you spirit of discernment once you understand God and how he works. We get more into God and the spiritualness of things. He'll give us the power of discernment. If you ask for it, especially, just ask God for the spirit of discernment. And some stuff, a person like me don't want to even know. But guess what? If we keep hiding the stuff we don't want to know, it's going to hurt us worse. So ask God the spirit of discernment. And if you want, ask God to give it to the people around you and the people that you love. It just, ask God for that. But it got to be within you too, and you too first. So that's what I'm saying. Keep going to God about yourself and talk to God how you can heal, how you can do better, And then you go to pray for everybody else. Because if anything, if the junk's in you, then you ain't going to be able to receive. If you have a lot of bullshit in you, you're not going to be able to receive God. I mean, that's where my energy comes. That's what I believe, because that's where me, if I'm full of crap, it's going to be full of crap. And I ain't going to be able to get close to God because I'm so full of it. It's keeping me down. It's weighing me down. So I let all my worries and my problems, and I give it to God. That's when I'm light and I'm hearing God and I'm closer to God. So I listen to God. I stop battling him. Stop trying to be right and just do right. So stop trying to be right and just do right the best you know how. Nobody gets to put you in heaven and hell. I don't care who people think they are. I don't care who thinks they are this or that. God made us all people. So don't feel like you are according to somebody else's law. Like, that's people. Man is man. People are people. Human are human. We're God's children. So if you recognize that's why we have a relationship with God, you won't be falling for the okie doke, which a lot of people don't. When they have a relationship with God, when you do have a relationship with God, you don't fall for the okie doke. Your spirit is going to tell you something, like, it's going to be everything, God's going to alert you. And one thing I also want to say, one more thing, I'm going to get off here, that so moving forward, people are going to be people, but don't mean you got to be around it. If people are going to be negative, just don't be around them. If you have to create yourself a positive bubble, create that, okay? And don't feel like think you better, because that's how they try to make you feel guilty if you trying to be a better person. But don't feel like, sometimes it's haters are really just unhealed people. I say haters, but it's unhealed people. They don't understand what's going on, so they just not happy with themselves. They want you to be unhappy, but that's a given. Like, you would have been the same way if you, everybody would be the same way. We just didn't work on ourselves. And we so focused on yourself, you won't be a hater. And that's anybody. And I'm just being honest. So it's not pinpointing nobody. It's not nobody directly. It's just in general, as humans. That's how you can stop being a hater or being around haters, when you stop caring about what people say about you, how they feel about you. But the only thing that, as long as they don't disrespect you, you can say things that make them respect you, but don't feel like you got to be around people that's disrespectful to you or harmful to you. Don't feel like, and you don't feel like you got to get them back. Like, one thing about it, leave them people be. Leave them where they at. You got to move forward in God. And God didn't say care them, don't carry that with you. People might did you bad or whatever, but don't carry that with you. That's how you stopping your blessings. You can't care. Be aware, but don't stop. Keep going. All right, guys, I'll be on here again. This is my first time using this recorder. Just something told me to record. I ain't got the right clothes on. That's why I could come here. But anyway, I'll come here another time. Y'all stay focused, stay positive, and keep God and keep going, keep moving forward.